Here are the tests. Did you guys just get your test?
Menominee did, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, you can take your test and you can get busy. No, but I can give you this for right now. And then I can see if I can get it charged during class. Oh, maybe I do have one in here. I'll get a cord someplace. Menominee, just leave that on the printer for now, okay? If you're done, you can hand them in. Did you get my message about bringing your computer?
I did not.
Okay. You said you had a video to show me?
Yeah. Is it the thing that said
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's me now.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a Mac?
I have this.
Okay, now I see
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. So then there's where it says that I already have a newer version.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's not the problem.
yeah. And then let's see if we try it again. Okay. We can try it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think. Okay, so what? Thanks.
Oh yeah. So I guess that's the next part where I click OK. And then just send them down.
Okay. So did you check up here to see if you had pop-ups allowed?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I don't know why it would have changed, but that's a good point.
I don't know.
I'll get that.
I'm
I'll
just
give it a
guessing.
try.
That's a guess. Okay, try that and see if that does it for you. Okay?
Great. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Is there anybody not done yet? Jesse, you're gonna come up to the desk here because you're gonna work with the people in Menominee. Step 1. I gave each table a whoa, that's not very focused. I gave each table an answer sheet. Step 1 on that answer sheet. Yeah, Jess, you gotta come up here. And then the first thing I need you to do is to circle number 21 because that's where you're going to start on the, yep, right here. Start on the test.
Oh, you need all of it.
No, Menominee, I need you, or I'm sorry, Chippewa. I need you guys to take yours to the office and then tell her to fax them to me so that I can get them right away and mail me them. Okay? Tell Angie that, or whoever's in the office right now.
Menominee? Us?
Yeah, you guys. Yep.
You said Chippewa, but yeah.
I meant you guys. Yeah. So take the test to the office, and then that one that I had on the printer. That's the one that you guys are going to be looking at. But Jesse's going to be helping you guys here because you don't have the scratch off answer sheet, so you're going to have to watch the screen. Okay.
What is this?
Just the
So
video's going through.
on the screen, you guys should be circling number 21. You can do that, Jess.
Is this just a copy of the test?
Yeah, it's use that marker because I can't see that very well. Okay, so you guys are circling number 21. You four are working together. You don't worry about it now because you're going to be leaving this room because these guys are going to be talking and I don't want them to interrupt your talking. We're going to do a group test on this test. I'm going to give you a copy of the test. Now, I had to change some of the answers on it, so it's not an exact copy, it's got the answers in a slightly different spot. The test you just took.
That was kind of a rough draft test.
That was a rough draft of the actual test that you're going to take. No, that one counts for 75% of your grade. This one counts for 25% of your grade. Now, to show you how it works, man, you can't even see those. I'm going to see if I can focus in on those. Okay, so up here, if you notice, Jessica has, question number 1 is, Mark Zuckerberg is world famous developer of what online social network? And if you notice, they scratched off letter A, Facebook. Got it? Number 2, how many teachers are there in the United States? I have a hunch they didn't scratch off D first. Because once you get a star, quit scratching. Because for every star that you get, you subtract half the points. Okay, so, I'm sorry, for every wrong answer you get, you subtract half the points. So on this test, I think the test is worth like about 16 points per question, something like that. So if you have to scratch twice, you're down to 8. If you have to scratch 3 times, you're down to 4. Like that, okay? Got it? So in this one, they did not do very well. Third question, which of these words is spelled incorrectly? They had A. Jess, can you move it up so that we can see number 4 better? Which artist turned the Campbell soup can into an icon of modern art? C. Andy Warhol. Does anybody disagree that it's Andy Warhol? Okay? Now, if you do disagree, make sure that the person doing the scratching is not going to, I'm going to scratch whatever I want to. Make sure they scratch what you guys want to scratch. Okay? So it would be appropriate for you to ask, are you guys sure that's the one you want me to scratch? Okay? So scratch it. Number 4. She's going to scratch, and it is indeed C. Got it? Okay. So I noticed that the room across the hall is open, so you 3 groups are going to go over there and do it over there, and then when you're done, come back here. Because Menominee, I don't have an answer sheet for them, so they are at your mercy. You are controlling everything Menominee. All right? You guys have a test there, though, right? And then she's going to show them the questions, too.
These?
The questions are... Where did I put it? I had one for you. And I put it...
What is this? This is like tests.
Oh, maybe I didn't print it. Right, I'll print one quick.
Yeah, do some bad.
Yours?
Yeah. This is kind of shows what
Or, no, sorry, it's B. I was looking.
Sure. The position of C.
I thought it was yes.
And then did you circle
I
on
thought it was.
There you go.
Yeah.
You are ready for action.
Position. Because if
I
you.
definitely put C, but I
But do I have to talk very loud for them to hear me?
You do not have to talk very loud.
Okay, awesome.
You don't have to talk at all. They have to talk to you.
Oh, okay.
Let's go with C. We already said C, so close.
So then they have this.
I'm going to zoom out a little bit.
Did you think like
That's what I was thinking. That's why.
the cards?
Why is 21 circle?
Because that's where you start.
Oh,
I said it's
Start on 21.
either.
yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, go.
No, it is a
It's
function.
just a hot mic.
okay.
It's a function.
Is it? Oh yeah.
You guys have to help her out because she's your scratcher. Put your answer sheet on there so that they can see where you are.
So
For A, or for 21, we have C.
Is it really?
What?
And I made a mistake.
What?
Then I made a mistake. I thought it was A.
No, it's not A. I can guarantee you that.
Okay,
That A is the value for 1.5 seconds.
Okay. So you want me to scratch off C then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's C.
it should be.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's C too.
Okay.
So he said he might have made a mistake.
yeah, 21 is.
Okay.
I made a mistake. I'm going to fix it right now.
I know I got one right on the list.
20.
Put a little tally right there.
Just wait.
Okay.
Kevin, I'm just here to grab a coin.
Yep, that's fine.
Well,
Oh, can we?
Just wait. I have to fix something here first, and then you can talk to me. I can only do one thing at a time.
So for R, should we make a mark that we had it right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. That was my question.
Okay. So, yep. Keep going.
Okay.
22 is A.
Since I don't have one, so I'm gonna bring my keys. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be C.
Why didn't you say that to them when they said cross off A?
I'm getting there.
So I got 2 right on the test.
I got
All right,
one
go for
down
C
so
then.
far.
Thug life.
This is weird.
All right.
So for
It's a function because
Oh, boy.
you have your input values, your output values don't.
They all equal
Yeah.
the same thing.
It doesn't matter. It's just a flat line. That doesn't.
Oh
well,
yeah.
Q2 isn't going to be a function of Q1 because it doesn't have a single value for each.
Which means it would be D.
So everybody says D.
Final answer.
Okay.
Thank you. I hope I got that. 23 is D.
Well, Q2 isn't going to be a function of Q1, I don't think, though, because
Oh, then I meant C.
for Q2 to be a function of Q1, you have to have a single output.
And which one's the output?
Q2 is the output.
No.
Okay. D,
See?
final answer?
D. Final answer.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys are helping me.
Yes. Ah. Yep.
For 24, I had A.
We had A as well.
Okay. This is a horrible scratcher. Okay.
It's B.
I had put B. I think other people did too.
B is in boy.
Okay. Thank you. No.
Did I say that wrong?
Probably C.
Did you get it wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, it means it can't be.
20 which?
25.
Which one did
They
you say?
said-
That's not right.
So,
Are you sure?
well, I had D, but I wasn't 100% sure on this question.
No, it can't be any real number because there is a negative value that would make it 0, therefore it can't be.
So it just can't equal -2, right?
Yeah.
So A?
But, oh, yeah, it's A. Oh, gosh.
Glad we all seem sure on this. It is A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So 26. I had B. You can't be negative tall.
It's X. Isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D for number 27.
Okay. D as in
Move
dog.
it up so that they can
Yeah.
scratch and they can't
Oh,
see that
sorry.
very good. That's okay. My keys didn't work so good.
No, it kind of like scratched through it.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't have my dime from my lottery ticket, so.
There's a star there?
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. So we're on 28.
A.
I would put A.
We all put A.
Okay.
No, it's not. If it was the rate, it'd be the same.
Oh. Why is that on?
And that's correct.
Sweet. 29.
I had B for that one.
It's C.
No, it's C.
Because if you didn't have a 1 in front of it, then it would.
Oh, okay.
Yours was rapidly decreasing. Very rapidly.
Like I said, math, not my best subject.
But you're really good at scratching off.
Yeah.
I do a lot of lottery.
You do that in color.
Okay, that one's wrong.
What?
Oh,
What?
I put. Oh,
That's okay. She did herself rather than you guys. So
sorry.
you
I
guys
was
all
looking
said
at-
C. We'll give you full credit for it.
I just X'd it out because I was scratching off the wrong
she
one.
crossed off the wrong one. She was listening to you. She just crossed off the wrong one.
Oh,
So number 30 is D as in dog.
dingus.
I'm glad you're here to believe me.
And then period is.
So that one's right.
Yeah, because if you
Or
go
the
from here to here, that's
Yep.
15. 30.
No,
It's
it's
definitely
C. It's C.
I did C.
Yeah, I did C as well.
Okay. So we agree on C?
Yeah, let's see.
Yep, C is in.
Missed
Cornucopia.
that. Jeez. I'm an idiot.
That's correct.
I'm correct.
So then 32.
Move it up so that they can see where you
Oh,
are.
sorry.
Yeah, A.
A for 32.
Gosh. This is a rough quiz. I went through it so fast. I should have gone through it.
Okay.
Didn't know. I put B.
I put C. What'd you put, Eric?
I put on the actual test. I put D.
It's Lauren, right?
What?
What's her name?
Just
Jess.
Jess. What'd you put for 20 or for 33?
For 33 on the test, I put, I think I put D.
check it and make sure that's right. Don't be just putting down anything.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I just put down anything for that one. Like I
Did we learn
tried to
about
make
this?
it make sense, but we did learn this for sure.
We did.
Yeah.
One of those is right.
Oh boy, yeah.
One of which one?
I think I put B.
I put B, but I kind of like did deduction and thought maybe it was right.
Try values.
That's okay. If you plug in 0 for the first one,
That's a bad one to plug in because 0
Is it?
almost always works.
well, for the first one you have no other choice.
Start at -1.
Yeah, it can be greater than
Oh,
or
that's
equal
true.
to.
So -1 plugged in, you get -1. That doesn't work for that one.
So eliminate.
Oh, no, it
just
does.
eliminate.
I'm sorry. No, I was the domain on the graph is extended.
Okay, so start at -2 then.
No, I was right. -1 is -1 on the graph. then 0 works, then 1 works.
But which one are you choosing though?
I'm looking at A to start.
Oh,
1 for the second one is 3.
but look at your domain on letter A.
Yeah, there you go, 1 greater than or equal to that. And then between less than 1.
Compare letter A and letter B.
Because the domain, we need to have the first domain to be, because it ends at -2.
Yeah, so it has to. So for the first domain, it has to start at least -2, so greater than or equal to.
Yeah, so that limits it to B, C, and D already.
So cross off the ones that it can't be.
So it can't be A.
Can I write on the test?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's yours.
And then,
Somebody else eliminated D because they said -1 times a half is not -1.
okay. Well, then I got that one right.
So cross off D.
I did.
So you're down to.
B and C.
You get done? And
So we just have to just look at the middle domain.
I'm pretty sure it's B.
Which one?
B.
boy.
Okay.
Because if it was C, then you'd have 1, and then it would equal 4. 1 does not equal 4 on the graph.
Yep, it was B.
Sweet.
The number 34.
This one is A.
It's the earthquake.
Yep. Okay.
We don't put D for.
D?
Yeah, is that what you got?
E isn't dog.
That stapler is making a lot of noise that the microphone picks up.
All right.
Okay. So that one was right.
C for 36.
C?
Yep.
Okay.
So you guys got them all right? Did you write your names on it, Lauren?
And then last
Can you write
one.
the names of your people in your group? And Eric, can you write the names of the people in your
And then 37, we put D.
Okay. Agreed. All right.
Are you guys done?
Yep. Oh, am I still on?
So, question: is this our actual grade, or is
It's
the-
25% of the.
No, like it's
You're
just
just like over there shaking your head.
Well,
it's like
I'm gonna go
to the
to
test that we took.
I'm gonna go to the syllabus because I can never remember how much your tests are worth.
Like comparative between the tests that we took versus that. What is the actual grade coming from?
I know that's why I'm going to the so we can talk about them in the same context. You got your names on it now?
Yes.
All right. Got your names on it?
Yes.
Okay. And we're waiting for the girls.
How many total questions was that?
17.
It wasn't enough. It was working, not weighted in the same
Well, I don't really know what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to do the judging, blaming, blaming stuff. That's like, it seems weird because I think we're just returning sharing.
so dark and gloomy
For the
out.
first answer, they always keep it. So that's not a bad strategy. It's-
They're still working on it, so we'll take our break a little early, and then you guys can, when we get back, then we'll go through the what this test score means and stuff.
Oh,
Alright, so between the study plan and assignments, that is a choice between them.
Yes. Yeah, it is. I would do the lessons rather than the study plan because when you do the study plan, you have to make sure you do the quiz me's, not the practice. And some people forget that and they do the practices, which don't give you any points. And so I would go the other way. But you know what? Either way is fine with me. We're taking our break, so I need your answer sheet. And did you guys write your names on it? Here. I don't know who's got it. Oh, she's doing it right now.
Gary looks so bad. Yeah, I was like, I've never tried Gary. He looks so bad.
Hey, you.
Yes. 10 out of 10.
hey, Mr. Halkey.
Yeah.
I have a question about the assignments that were due yesterday.
Yeah.
The email that I got from you, I thought I completed everything that had said missing, and then in my math lab, like I have a bunch that say past due.
When did it say past due? Because they.
In Math Lab, it
Morning?
was like 9.7.
Yeah,
Oh.
like as of
I didn't change the dates on that one. I'll have to make sure I get that right. Yeah, that was not past due because we haven't gotten that far yet.
So if we forget to complete an assignment and it's past due, are we allowed to go back and complete it or no?
Yes.
Do we get full points or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Which leads up to, and kind of thinking my plan of attack there isn't very good. Because I did the exact same thing with intermediate algebra, and I had a bunch of people that did not complete the course because they thought I was lax concerning due dates, and so they just got so far behind that they couldn't catch up at the end. So I don't know that my plan is necessarily the best one in the world. It saves me tons of time because do your work, don't do your work. I teach it next semester. That's not a very good attitude to have if you want students to pass. But my experience with my own children was I gain nothing by waking them up in the morning and make sure they get to school. Set your own cat and pick an alarm clock. I'm not going to get you up. Do your own homework. I'm not going to remind you to do it. I mean, I've got due dates. We have due dates. Blah, blah, blah. Do it. Don't do it. It doesn't matter to me. Oh, we're missing Jake yet. And then somebody in Menominee is missing too. I should do attendance quick while I...
So, just like so you know, in my math lab, the ones that are now past due, it says that we can't go back and read.
Oh, so I might not have changed that then. I'll see if I can do that quick. Let's see here, October. It's possible because this is only the second semester that I've done it this way. It's possible I didn't make that important distinction that I should have. Okay, change assignment status, select all.
You want to redo it? You can't see that. Overall, redo it.
Late submission, allow late submission.
Can you see it?
Apply to selected. Update changes only. Now it should be right, but sometimes I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't take. Why sometimes when I do stuff, it seems like I forgot to do it or something. Okay, on the grading, how the grading works. So tests, there's 4 of them, worth 640 points total, meaning 160 each. Okay, there are 64 other points on the in-class stuff, and then it says 180 points on the My Math Lab. But I'm not sure about that. I'm going to check that and see. But regardless, let's say there's 884 points. To pass this class, you need a 70. So if you multiply 884 times 0.70, means you need 619 points to get a C. Now, if you notice, if you get 100 on all the tests, you got your 619 points right there. So you're in like Flynn. Okay, how does this test work? Well, there's 17 questions, but those 17 questions have to account for 160 points, so each question is worth whatever that is, about 10. Okay? The part that you did by yourself is worth 75%, plus 160 divided by 17 times how you did as a group. Okay? How many you got right out of that is here, so times the number right. Over here, it's not times the number right, it's times the number of the fraction that are right. For example, if you got it in 1, you would get all the points. If you got it in 2, you would get half the points. If you got it in 3, you'd get a quarter of the points. And if it took you all 4 of them, I'll give you an eighth of the points. Although they recommend that you don't give them any points if they have to scratch off all 4. But the other thing is if you were in a group in which you had them all right, and the rest of your group was like, no, Kevin, you're wrong on that one, but you were really right, and you had a perfect score, but they made you get one wrong, you will get 100% of your own score. So you can't get worse than what you would have gotten if you'd have done it by yourself. Okay? I know that sounds confusing, but the math, it's easy to program a computer to do that. If you disagree with that, make sure you tell me now. I think it seems really fair to me, but I'm the decider, and so I think everything is fair. Even when the Packers lose on 2 plays, that's like, wow, that was really a cool play. That one where they passed backwards and then across the field, and there were like every single Patriot was there ready to block for the guy that caught the pass, and he ran downfield. And then that other one where the Packers D-back was trying to interception, he went for the interception and he missed it, and the guy caught it and he like strolled into the end zone. I suppose you don't care about football. Don't care. Was there a game yesterday? Yes, there was. Questions about how the test is graded? Because we're ready to go. Oh, I forgot to do attendance. I was going to.
Oh.
Yeah. I usually don't come over Is what it is.
All right. Nick, Michael, Marlena, Gavin, Janae, Felicia, Nicole, Eric,
Here.
Phil,
Yeah.
Grant, Connor, Paige is gone, Eric, Laura, Madeline's gone, Sarah is gone, Lauren, Jake, and Sam. Okay, let's get busy on lesson 5C.
Oh, 160. 384 points in the class. There's 4 tests, 6 tests. 4 tests, and they're worth 160 points. So, each question worth like 10 points.
All right,
All the stuff.
we're on lesson 5C.
They're worth like 184 points total.
And we're talking about lines. Oops. That's way too far. And the first line that we're going to talk about is the cost of a taxi. Now, we've had other lines before. Oh, come on now. We've had other lines before. What does the slope of a line tell you about that line? Another word for slope is the rate of change. If it slopes this direction, your slope is going to be positive. If it slopes this direction, your slope is going to be negative. The steeper the slope, the steeper the line is, the bigger the rate of change is. Now we've got something different about this one. If you recall, well, actually it wasn't different. If you go back to the rabbits and the foxes, do you recall that the rabbits started out at 70 or 80? Okay, so that was our y-intercept. Here's the way I remember that you should take care of the intercept first when you're doing an equation. I watch a lot of football. How many times have you seen a guy, I'm going to intercept the ball, okay? And the ball is coming towards him. And he's thinking, oh, when I score my touchdown, should I do the reverse like slam? Should I do a dance? What should I do? And so the ball is coming into his hands, and he drops the ball, okay? Make sure you do the intercept before you start doing the slope. Got it? Okay. In this case, what does the vertical intercept tell you about the line? What the value of it, the function is when the input is 0. Okay? What the value of the function is when the input is 0. Let's look at the San Antonio, Texas graph on the next page. Taxi fares in San Antonio. If you get into a taxi, how much is it going to cost you? even if you don't drive at all.
What's about 250?
Now, why did you say about 250, Eric?
That's an estimate because there's no real
Because-
numbers in between that 5 and 0.
Yeah, it looks like it's about halfway between 5 and 0. So Eric had to estimate that. Now, it could have been like 240. It could have been 270. It's somewhere in the $2 to $3 range. Everybody agree with that? Now, obviously, it's a taxi. Does the cost increase the more miles you go or decrease? Increases. It's sloping up. So the first thing we need to do is we estimated the vertical intercept, and for my math lab, you have to write in parentheses the distance and the fare for that distance. So what what distance are you going to put for number 1A or 2A, whatever this A is? What distance are you going to put?
0.
0, comma.
Thank you.
And this is where Eric would have put 250, something like that, right? $2.50. Estimate the fare for going 10 miles.
25.
What do you get?
25.
That looks pretty good. Anybody disagree? Calculate the slope using the two little points that you had. M equals, what's our math for the numerator? 25 minus 250 over I'll do the denominator. Numerator?
$2.25.
Well, it was $22.50, right? So when we get done, Eric's right. It's $2.25 what? Per mile. So it's dollars per mile. Remember, slope always has 2 units. Part D. Use the information you found to write F as a function of D. F as a function of D equals.
It's 2.25 times D plus 250.
Everybody got it? So, what's the fare for 8 miles? F of 8 is
$22.50.
$22.50?
20.50.
No. $20. I misunderstood you. $20.50. Looking back at the graph, 8 miles looks like about $20.50. Anybody disagree? Make sense? This is called the slope intercept form. I never teach slope intercept form. I teach intercept slope form. Now I can understand why they teach slope intercept form because this is the slope and this is the intercept. So the order they're written is slope then intercept. I teach you intercept slope to have you remember start at the intercept, then do the slope. Okay? Start at the intercept, then do the slope. I have seen too many folks do that the wrong way. So, there are 3 different forms of a linear equation. Turn your papers sideways, and we're going to get those 3 different forms written down for a linear equation. Okay. We're in the middle column right now, and we're going to be doing the intercept slope form first. What is the intercept slope form? Well, we're going to have y all alone on the left side. Y is all alone here on the left side. The right side is going to have a coefficient, in this case 3/5, then an x, and then a constant term. So the way the form is written, you see my example, y equals 3/5 x minus 3. The way the form is written is you've got the slope is the first coefficient, the intercept is the constant. So this is the middle one of those 3 forms. And then at the bottom, sketch a graph of it. And I'll zoom in to show you how to do that sketch of the graph. Oops. So we start here at -3. That's the first thing we do. From there, we go up 3, 1, 2, 3, forward 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we put a dot there. So, our intercept slope form will give us 2 points. The first point is where you cross the y-axis, the intercept. The second point is going to be related to that somehow. In this case, it's going to be 3 up from there, 5 forward from there. Got it? 3 up, 5 forward. So we're just doing, this page is going to be filled out later on, but we're just doing that first part. The middle column, the intercept slope form. And as you can see, there are 2 other forms we're going to be doing eventually. They are the standard form and the point slope form. So those are going to be eventually filled in. Everybody ready to go on, or does anybody need more time to copy stuff down? That's fine. Where are you? Are you trying to copy the whole thing? Because we're going to be doing the whole thing later on. You just need the middle column. Everybody ready? Makes sense? So in the connection with this model of the San Antonio taxi, that's what it would be. Do you recall a while ago we were doing the different colleges, and the first one that we did had a charge of $75 per credit. That had an intercept of 0 because they didn't have any fees. The slope was 75. Then the next one was like $35. I can't remember, but the last one was it had a fee of, I think it was $115 or $125, something like that. Right? Remember that? So we intercepted up 115, and then from there, it just kept increasing regularly. Linearly, meaning the slope was always the same number, and that's why we can say m, the slope, in this case, 3/5. So, now are you done, Lauren?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we look here at the San Antonio taxi case, we've got here that the taxi ride starts out at $2.50, and then you just keep on for each tenth of a mile you go, the cost increases. I don't know where I got this second one, $3.80 plus $2.60. Oh yeah, I do. I remember that. I watched a TV show that had a taxi in San Antonio. So since that was $3.80 with an intercept of $2.60, the actual taxi ride in San Antonio is a little bit more expensive than the model that we have here shows. And I don't know if it's because they raised the price of taxis in San Antonio after this book was written or not.
I have a quick question that doesn't necessarily.
Bottom of the page, number. Oh, are you talking to me? I heard you talking.
Yeah, I have a quick, just a comment. Like, so don't most taxis now charge also by time?
You know, somehow a taxi ride has always cost me $40. No matter what town I'm in, no matter how far I'm going, every taxi ride has always been $40. No matter how many people in the car. I don't know if they have some kind of a widget on their machine that allows them to always charge me the same amount. But I think he's right. The taxi, like if you're stuck in traffic, they will charge you more money. And if you like say, oh, wait here, I'm going to go into the mall and buy these shoes. I've just got to have these shoes. They're just divine. They're kind of a red, kind of a silky material. They're kind of like wedges, but more along the lines of a pump. So it's really cute. They go great with my dress. I'm just saying. Anyway, they will charge you while the taxi waits. Got it?
Oh.
Does that help you?
Yeah.
Okay. On this next one, once a plane has completed its initial takeoff, it climbs at a constant speed to a cruising altitude. Suppose the pilot completes the takeoff portion of the flight and then programs the plane to climb at a rate of 1,800 feet. 10 minutes later, the pilot records the altitude as 23,000 feet. So, height as a function of time, we know it's changing 1,800 feet per minute. But the problem that we have is we don't know how high it is when he starts the time. We know that 10 minutes later, it's up to 23,000 feet. Everybody good with that? So we're going to discover a method to find the formula from the slope and a point. In other words, we're going to find the point slope form of the line. Let's do it. A, what is the rate of change in the plane's altitude as a function of time?
$1,800, right?
1,800 feet per minute, correct? B, let T, they say A of T, altitude, I had height. A of T be the plane's altitude at T minutes. Write an expression for the average rate of change between 10 minutes and T minutes. Our denominator is going to be T minus 10. Average rate of change between 10 minutes and T minutes. So our numerator is going to be F of T minus, what is the slope, what is the position 10 minutes later?
23,000 feet.
We know this number here is 1800. So if we take 1800 times t, subtract 1800 times 10, so in other words, I'm going to multiply this by that side, I get 18,000, is f of t minus 23,000. Everybody see what I did? This part of the equation went here. How do I get the t all alone? Or I'm sorry, f of t all alone? What can I do?
Add 23,000 each side.
So let's add 23,000 here. Add 23,000 here. So I will have f of t, they meant a, is 1800t plus 5,000. Everybody agree? 23,000 minus 18,000 is 5,000. So that's one way to get our formula. The steps there were substitute into the slope and solve for a of t. Now we're going to do it a totally different way. Part E. No, I'm sorry, we did part E and F. So in your notes, let's do the point slope form. In the point slope form, y and a constant are on the left side, or in our case, f of x and a constant are on the left side. The coefficient is before parentheses, and a constant is on the right side. It is important for you to note that this constant is the output shift. And this constant anybody want to take a stab in the dark? Is the
Shift.
Input shift. So we shifted the output up 6. We shifted the input back 5. Now this equation that I wrote here is the exact same as the one that I had for the intercept slope form. It's just written in the point slope form of the line. So y is not all alone in this case. What I do show you is that the number 6 and the number 5 are the coordinates of the point with the opposite sign. So in this case, we start at the point Can I scroll down a little bit, or does everybody need more? So we start at the point back 5, down 6. Start at the point back 5, down 6, and from there go up 3, forward 5, and put in your point. So you still have 2 points. You're still able to graph it. And that's exactly what we have in the example that we're doing here. We're at the point 10 minutes and 23,000 feet. And we backtrack. Anybody need more time, or do you have it? And we backtrack until we get to 5,000 feet. Did you need more time?
Can you zoom in on the graph?
Oh,
just can't.
yeah.
It looks really messy.
It does. Well, it is really messy. Thank you. You should have seen the original. It was really, really messy. I'll see if I can clarify it for you. I tried to show you everything that was happening. So in the blue, I show going back 5, and then I show you going down 6. Okay? So from the origin, I went back 5, down 6. I put a dot. From that dot, I went up 3, forward 5, and I put in another dot. And then I connected the 2 dots with a line. Does that make sense? Everybody good? So that's exactly what I did in my paper for this one. I started at 10:23. 10 minutes in, we were at 23,000 feet. From there, I just kept going down 1,800 feet for each minute backwards until I got to the y-axis, in which case I was at 5,000 feet. Okay. Part 4, page 77. The other way to solve this equation is by substitution. Y minus 18,000 equals 1,800 times x minus 10. Oh, it's not 18,000, it's 23,000, sorry. So on my paper, I would write y minus the y that they gave me. What was the altitude? 23,000 feet. Equals, my slope is 1,800, and then the x minus 10 minutes. So I can substitute in those two numbers, the height and the time, and now I multiply it out. Y minus 23,000 equals 1,800 x minus 18,000. Add 23,000 to each side, and I get y equals 1,800 x plus 5,000. Now, somebody in the other class said, Kevin, why do you have different ways to solve it? Because there's more than one way to find a linear equation. Well, don't show me all those different ways. So you don't want to know that there's more than one way to get to Chippewa Falls from Eau Claire? Okay. Fine. Here's the way to get to Chippewa Falls from Eau Claire. You go past my house, because that's the only way I know how to get there. Is you have to start at my house. Makes it difficult, doesn't it? Well, I'm in Halley. Yeah, I can't help you. You gotta come to Eau Claire first and start at my house. Page. Um, 80. World population. What do you see as the problem? Oh, I'm sorry, we have to do 79 first. On page 79, they show the population of the world since 1960. How would we go about showing that this is a linear equation?
Find the rate of change.
Yep, find all of these rates of change. What about the way the table is set up makes it easy to find the rate of change? These x's are all in order and the exact same distance apart. So all we need to do is to find out that from here to here is 0.75. From here to here is 0.75. From here to here is 0.75. Looks like each change is 0.75 billion. So every 10 years, the population increases 0.75 billion, or about 75 million people per year. Everybody okay with that? Now, it says years since 1960. Do you notice they didn't give us the population in 1960? So from the table, how would we backtrack to figure out what year 0 would be? Well, if every 10 years it grows by 0.75, how would we find what it was in year 0, that is 1960?
Subtract.
And you get
5.
3, right? Because it's 0.75 bigger. So our formula will be population as a function of time times since 1960 is, what did it start out as? And what did it grow by? Got it? So when you look at that graph on the next page, once again you can see it didn't backtrack all the way to the y-axis. But if you look here, does it look like if you backtrack one more decade, you're going to be pretty close to 3? Everybody agree? Now, is it easier to tell from the table or to tell from the graph that it's linear?
Graph.
Everybody agree the graph? I mean, it's a line. So what I would suggest on your tests is that you have your graphing device handy from now on. You didn't need it for that first test. There were very few things that you would have needed it for. But you can use your book, you can use your notes, you can use your... I probably should have told you that for that first test. Oh well, if you don't like your grade, do it. You can do it over again and get a better grade. That's okay with me. Yeah, remind me next time to make sure that you can use your book and your notes. Kevin!
We can retake them.
Oh, yeah. Does the graph above show you the information about the vertical intercept? Not in this case, right? Why do you think I would have chosen the points 10 years and 3.75 billion and 80 years and 9 billion? Why would have I chosen points so far apart? Anybody know? It's easier to tell the slope when they're that far apart than when they're close. Which is easier to aim a pistol or a rifle?
Rifle.
Because the sights are so far apart, right? In fact, with a pistol, don't they just say point? They don't. They usually don't tell you to aim, because by the time you've aimed, you are on the other side. You have crossed the Great Divide. Part F. Let's substitute in P of 0. .075 times 0 plus 3. What do we get?
3.
Does that make sense? 3 billion people. Page 81. The growth rate of Kentucky bluegrass is estimated to be 0.2 inches per day during a certain time of the year. So, in Desmos here, I graphed it, and I've got it growing by 0.2 inches per day. An agriculture student mows a section of bluegrass, and then 8 days later, the grass is 4.1 inches. So I'd like to show you that I graphed the blue point there is 8 days later, 4.1 inches. So if I graph this line, you can see that there's only one spot. I've got the slope, right? 0.2 is the slope. But there's only one spot where my line goes through the point that's blue. Everybody agree? I need to stop that line when it gets to that spot. So I'm just, instead of keeping on playing it, I'm just going to go and see, oops. Sorry about that. I'm just going to go and see where it goes through that point exactly. Does it look like it goes through the point? When it goes through that point, what does it say is my intercept?
2.5.
2.5. So in this case, let's do the math. Height as a function of time in days. Height is in inches. Is 0.2 inches per day. Plus my intercept. There are two ways we could figure it out. One of them is substitute in the point. The other one is substitute in the slope. We know that 0.2 is the change in y, which is 4.1 minus h of t divided by 8 days minus t. And remember what we did? We multiplied this side by this. 0.2 times 8 minus t is, the other side, 4.1 minus h of t. What do you get here? $1.6. Oh, I'm going to do it the other way. 0.2 equals h of t minus 4.1 over t minus 8. I'm going to do it backwards so that I get my h of t and t first. So 0.2 t minus 1.6, right? I'm going to multiply 0.2 times this is h of t minus 4.1. How do I get the h of t all alone? Good. Add 4.1 to both sides. And I get h of t is 0.2t plus 2.5 inches, right? 4.1 minus 1.6. The other way to do it is to substitute in y minus 8 days is 1.6 times x minus, or I'm sorry, this was 4.1 inches. X minus 8 days. 1.6x minus, I don't know what 8 times 1.6 is.
Sorry.
12.8. What did I do wrong? One 0.6 times x minus the x value.
Don't you want 0.2? You want 0.2 and not 1.6?
0.2x. It grows by 0.2 each day. Yeah, this is where the 1.6 is. So y equals 0.2x plus 2.5 inches. You get the same equation either way. The grass will be mowed when it reaches 4.5 inches. So what day number will that be? Well, if it's at 4.1 in 8 days and it grows by 0.2 per day, when is it going to be 4.5 inches? Day 10, right? Because it grows 0.2 per day. So in 10 days, it will grow 2 inches. And then we're going to cut it, and it'll be back down to 2.5. Page 83. We need some people up here. We need an Aaron and a Betty. 2 volunteers from the Eau Claire studio audience. An Aaron and a Betty. There you go. We've got a Betty and we've got an Aaron. According to our story, it says that the 2 probes have been launched by a stationary space station. So let's say the space station is that wall over there. So both of you over by the wall. The first probe, named Aaron, is traveling at 35 kilometers per hour, and Betty is launched 2 hours later at 80. So Aaron, you're launched. Walk really slowly because I don't want you to. So let's say that 2 hours is right now. Pause. Okay, how far is he from the space station? Say it.
70 kilometers.
How did you figure that out? He goes 35 each hour, right? Where are you? Haven't been launched yet, right? So your position is, it is important, turn the page over. Because it says when you graph this, so we're going to graph this on page 85. When you graph this, start your time when Betty is at 0. So if Betty is 0, time according to Betty. Oh, very good. Can I show the class what you just did? Here is where Aaron was at time 0. Everybody agree with that? Okay. Here he drew Betty. Why did he draw Betty going through 0, 0? She hasn't moved yet. Okay, go. Go. Well, what's got to be true? You're going more than twice as fast, right? Because he's going 35 and you're going, oh, you didn't know you were going 80. Could you be informed by me saying you're going 80? Okay, go. Stop. The crucial question on that page asks, will the probes collide? Almost surely they won't. There's only one condition under which they will collide. What is that? They are going in the exact same direction. Are you two going in the exact same direction? Because you didn't collide, right? You were in the same spot. What did you do in order to miss him? Because it's not polite to collide into somebody, right? You had to veer slightly off course, right? But they would have collided if she would have gone the exact same spot that he did. What is going to be true about those two lines right here?
We at the same point.
They are going to be the same point, which means they have the same distance, right? And the same time. They're at the same spot at the same time. Okay? Just wait. Before you leave that. Page 84. A third object is cited and given the name Charlie. Okay? So back up to t equals 0.5. We need a third object, Charlie. No, you're going to be much farther back than that. There you go. Stop. We need a Charlie. Come on, Charlie. Oh, Sam he's thinking about it. He's making a move. And he succeeded. Okay, at number 9, it says that at time 0.5, Charlie is located closer to the space station than Aaron, but farther away than Betty. Assume the graph, okay, and Charlie's slope is negative. Ooh. Does that make sense? Now here's the part that the graph kind of loses itself. Number 10, or Part B, what does the negative slope tell you about Charlie's position relative to the space station? He's getting closer. Part C says, according to the graphs you have drawn, will Charlie collide with the space station before or after Aaron and Betty collide with each other? Now, that question assumes something that you just magically appeared, right? Because if you would have been at time, let's say 2, where would you have been? Over here. What would you have been doing? Moving that direction. What would you have been doing? What do you see as a problem? So before you could even get to this spot here, you had to have had a collision with Aaron. I don't know how they did that, but everybody got the picture. Okay, thank you very much. Participants, you get 1 million extra credit for today.
That gets applied to the test then?
It'll get applied to everything that happens today. All right. So here's our graph. This is time. This is distance. We have to put something in parentheses. What's it going to be? Very good. Time, right, is a function of distance. Now we're going to have a distance A, we're going to have a distance B, and we're going to have a distance C, correct? I should have done 3 different colors. If I'm going to draw this line starting at 0, 0, what does it have to do compared to the line that I drew first? Be steeper. Very good. Will they meet up in the first hour? Well, remember, this guy was at 70. And after 1 hour, he will be how far up? He'll be at 105, right? How did I get that? Because he goes 35 each hour. How far will Betty be at 1 hour? At 2 hours, where will Betty be?
160.
At 2 hours, where will Aaron be?
140.
Do you see that they must have collided somewhere between the first hour and the second hour? Does everybody see that from the graph? Because Aaron was ahead here, and an hour later, Betty was ahead here. Everybody agree with that? So somewhere in here, they collided. Then it says, add a third that at 0.5 is here. Everybody agree? 0.5 is between those two. And it says it's getting closer, which means the slope is going downhill. But it could also be going downhill like this, right? All we know is it's heading downhill. Page 85, question C. Says, did Charlie collide with the space station before or after Betty and Aaron collided? Well, we're going to have to ignore one important thing, and that is that Charlie would have collided with Betty before it collided with the space station, right? But he already collided with Aaron, so we've got to change reality here slightly. But which one happened first? Well, it depends, doesn't it? How steep did you draw your line? Did you draw it like this? Then Charlie gets to the space station first. Did you draw it like this? Then Betty and Aaron collide first. Everybody got it? Okay? Oh, let's see. Did we get as far as I would have liked? No, we did not. We only got through 6A. But 6B, golfing on the moon, will happen tomorrow. We are hopefully going to be golfing on the moon.
You're paying, right?
I'll try to get the test graded tonight. I've got a program advisory meeting, so it might be kind of dicey if I have enough time.
You post them on my math lab or E360? Mr. Hulke.
Yep.
Do you post them
Just
on?
wait. Yeah, talk.
Do you post them on E360? The grades.
I still can't hear you.
Do you post them on E360?
Oh, the test scores? Yeah, I will. When I get it done.
Oh, what we're doing